Hello and welcome back to my Doctor Who review. Today we are reviewing Doctor Who episode 12 of series 7, Nightmare in Silver. It's starring Matt Smith and Jenna Louise Coleman. We'll start with good points. I love the theme park setting. I think it's very a nice set. I like the props and the sets all around for most of, for the entire episode. I think it's really good. We get to see Warwick Davis's character Porridge very early on in the episode, and he's really good. The cyber insects, the cyber mites, they're quite a interesting thing. I like the idea of those. I think they are cool little cyber things that they have. I just think they're pretty awesome. I like the new Cybermen design. I think they look a bit like the very first Cybermen, but obviously not like terrible cloth with bits of pipe. It looks like a metal version, like a full-on kind of the first two versions of the Cybermen mixed together, but kind of made them like a bit more metallic and more powerful, really. Super cyber speed. It is pretty cool. You only get to see it for a little bit, but it is pretty cool. It's a shame it wasn't used as more than it was, because it is a pretty awesome kind of ability to have this super speed ability. I like the idea that the Cybermen, because they're machines, they can take bits, parts of themselves off, and basically those bits can move about as well. So it's like the broken Cyberman from Series 5 of Matt Smith's era, kind of like that, but it's able to do that without actually being broken, which is pretty cool. I also like the Cyber Tomb. We get to see a Cyber Tomb in the episode. I enjoy the action scenes. There are a few action scenes, and they're quite decent. And I really like Warwick Davis's character Porridge, who turns out, as a twist, it turns out he's the Emperor of the human galactic whatever. I don't know. He seems to be the Emperor, which means he's the leader of the three galaxies or whatever, something like that. But it's a really nice twist that we find out that Porridge, who's just there, kind of, is the Emperor. It's quite a good kind of thing. I do like that twist. That's pretty much it for good points. There was nothing really I could pick up on. I mean, I like the characters. I think they were all interesting. And it was nice to see these new Cybermen. Bad points. The Doctor's cyber planner thing. It's a bit naff. It seems overacted a bit too much, and it's kind of hard to take it seriously that he's being took over by a cyber planner, like battle computer thing. I find it hard to take it seriously. It's nice that they brought back the cyber planner, but I just didn't really like it that much. The Cybermen are really Borgish, like from Star Trek. It just seems like someone's looked at the Cybermen and thought, well, the Borg are kind of similar, and we need to do something to the Cybermen to make them better. So why don't we just take all the things that the Borg do and make it more Cyberman-y? Like, for example, when the Cyberman walks into the electrified river, moat, whatever, it gets damaged by it, but then somehow upgrades itself so it's able to sustain the damage and continue walking through the river, which is a bit irritating. and also they are able to upgrade or assimilate, as the Borg are, but it's Cybermen, but assimilate the damage so it doesn't take damage from the this basically the cyber gun that destroys Cybermen. The Cybermen are cool, but their movement, like when they're not using their super speed, so like in one scene, the movement of the Cybermen are kind of a bit naff. It's too C-3PO-ish and not cool robot, evil superpower thing. They're not like cool killer robots men, they're just C-3PO movers, and it's just a bit naff to watch. It happens less as the time goes, like towards the end where there's loads of the Cybermen, it's not really noticeable because now it looks more like a war march. But when it's one Cyberman just walking about on its own, it just looks naff. The problems got solved again really quickly, really easily, and fair enough. Sometimes the solution to defeating a Cyberman can be quite simple, but it just seemed a bit naff, really. I mean, it just happens that this Emperor dude has the ability to transmat himself and pretty much everyone else away from the explosion, and transmat the TARDIS and kill like 3 million Cybermen or something like that on the planet. But anyway, also I think that this episode could have worked better as a two-parter. It just seemed like it could have been strung out to something a lot longer. Like there could have been a war zone and everything. That like reinforcements of humans could have came, and there could have been a battle, and it would have worked better because the Cybermen didn't really get much of a kind of spotlight in the episode. Yes, they were the main villain, but they just kind of didn't do much until the very end, and still didn't really do much because they barely killed anyone. What can I say? So yeah, that was my good points and bad points. It seems that this review is quite short because I don't have that many good points and bad points to bring up. Just with this episode, there was just not enough things I could get from it. I mean, yeah, the Cybermen are cool, but I'm looking at them and they're cool, so that's good, but obviously they weren't really doing much, and anywho, I haven't had really that many points. But anyway, overall I think this episode it's good, but I was expecting better. But then again, I did actually think it would be more childed down than it was, but it's still a bit naff. To be honest, I was quite happy that the two children basically got kind of deactivated almost, so that they were just basically standing there most of the episode as like part Cyberman thing, because to be honest, if the children were still in it, it would have really kidded down the episode. So I'm glad they decided to do that with them. I'm gonna give it a rating. This rating is a bit generous, but that's because I really like the Cybermen design. And a little added good point that I didn't put on good points. This is just something. At the very end of the episode, we get to see the planet like falling apart, blown up kind of thing, and the Emperor's ship just going away. But we see a little... It's either a cybermite or a bit of a cyber spaceship or something like that. I couldn't really tell what it was, but it just kind of hinted that the Cybermen weren't totally destroyed from that explosion, which is quite a good thing. But anyway, the rating is 7 out of 10. That's because I'm being rather generous with this episode, because I enjoyed the new Cyberman look and I was pretty excited about it, because Cybermen are one of my favourite villains and Warwick Davis's performance was brilliant. So 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching. The next episode, it looks good and it looks bad, because I don't really want the name of the Doctor to be revealed. I doubt, well, it could happen, knowing Moffat, but it might not happen. But it does look cool, and Dr. Simone is still alive, which is interesting. So it may have something to do with the Great Intelligence, which would be even more awesome, because it's a villain that I think has a lot of potential and probably will do in the next episode. So anyway, thank you for watching. Sorry this review was a bit short and brief. I've run out of things to say, really. So thanks for watching. Goodbye.